Haaland, selbst die Bayern haben Angst, bald geht ihnen das ganze Land. Haaland, hey, Haaland.
Some of you guys are really eating your words this weekend, yeah. Another day, another Erling Haaland hat-trick, and what can we say? What can we say about this guy that hasn't already been said by pundits up and down the nation last night? For me, anyway. Already, we're going to get started in this video by talking about Erling Haaland, because really there is nowhere else to start but to talk about Erling Haaland. Some people, I don't know if they were just trying to be, you know, internet edgelords, or they genuinely thought that it was true, that they thought that Erling Haaland, of all people, was going to flop in the Premier League. Well, 10 goal involvements, 9 of them being goals, 2 hat-tricks in 4 days, in 5 games. It's kind of making you look a little bit silly right now. And I know, I get it. You know, you can hope, I guess is the correct word. You can hope that Erling Haaland will flop because he's not playing for your team, and obviously you don't want someone else's team to win the league. But I mean, come on, all the signs were there. Everywhere this guy's been, he has just demolished the league. The guy plays for Salzburg at the age of, what, 17, and demolishes the Austrian Bundesliga. He then moves to the German Bundesliga with Dortmund, scores a hat-trick on his debut, and goes on to score, what was it, 143 goals in 138 games or something like that. I might be a little bit off. So there was nothing there that would make you think that he's not going to do that again. And when he was at Salzburg, when he was at Dortmund, he was playing in, I don't want to say considerably worse teams. I mean, at Salzburg, you could say there's considerably worse team, but Dortmund are not as good as City. They're not considerably worse. That makes them sound like a bad team. They're not, but they're not as good as City. We create that many chances. We have the ball so much during games that there was just no doubt that Erling Haaland would hit the ground running. I mean, I didn't imagine he'd do it as well as he has done, but there was no doubt that he would hit the ground running, because we're just going to find those spaces with so much more ease than his previous teams did. And look what he did there. So there's people out there predicting, you know, oh, he's not going to get 10 goals. He's not going to get 15 goals. He's not going to get 20 goals. This guy, at this rate, is going to score over 30 Premier League goals this season. And you can mark my words on that. He will hit 30 minimum Premier League goals this season. What's the record? 34 goals in a year, is it? Is that the record? 38 goals, I think Shearer got. 34 or 38. He's going to be pushing that, if not beating that, considerably easily. I don't want to say too easily, but I mean, I don't... Fuck it, I'm going to throw it out there. Yes, easily. He will easily challenge, if not beat, that record this season. Not considering... as long as he keeps up this form. And I don't see any reason why he won't. The only thing that'll stop him at this point is an injury. And I know people have talked about he's a bit of injury prone, whatever. The guy's 22. As long as he maintains his fitness and he maintains his form, this guy is going to just score goals week in, week out, without fail. Without fail. You know, I don't know what else to say to him. Here's a heat map. Over there. Look at that heat map. This is what we've been missing for the past couple of seasons, right? I'm going to show you a little bit later a heat map of Aguero. And obviously it'll be Aguero's time over a season. We haven't got that for Haaland just yet, but you'll see the difference in the fact that Aguero came so much deeper to collect the ball so much more of the time. This guy is just standing in the box, the ball's going to him, and he's just scoring goals. There will be times when he runs on to the end of a pass like he did against West Ham, and, you know, he scores a goal like that, but 9 times out of 10, he's just going to be in the box and we're just going to give it to him and he's just going to score, and it's just going to happen so many times. And so far, no one's come up with a plan to be able to stop that from happening. Except what? Newcastle. Was it the Newcastle game? When he scored in the Newcastle game. There's a game that he didn't score in. Can't remember who it was. But that was the only time he didn't get a goal. now he's found his footing. Now he's settled into the team. Now everyone else is starting to click and work out. There was those couple of games where people were complaining that Foden didn't pass him the ball when he should have passed him the ball. Foden's given him 2 assists in 2 games now. So that's starting to click. De Bruyne in the West Ham game, he's going to get more of those runs eventually. Alvarez and Mahrez out on the other wing. It's just going to be insane. And I mentioned Julian Alvarez just then, and he's the next person that I want to come on to, because I think he's gone, I don't want to say he's gone under the radar, but he's taken sort of a backseat behind Erling Haaland at the minute because of how good Erling Haaland's been. If we'd have just signed Julian Alvarez this year and didn't get Erling Haaland, I think we would be praising Alvarez a lot more than what we are, based purely on the amount of hard work that this guy does, the amount of pressing that this guy does, the amount of coming close for the ball that this guy does, the amount of work that he puts in and around the box, and of course the 2 goals that he scored yesterday, which were very comparable, and his overall game is very comparable. His celebration when he scores is very comparable with Sergio Aguero. I'm not saying that he's as good as Sergio Aguero. Sergio Aguero is the best foreign striker into the Premier League that the Premier League's ever seen. So I'm not going to say that Julian Alvarez is at that level. Yeah, of course he's not. But the way he moves, the positional sense that he has, the way he gets in and around the box, the way he strikes the ball, the way he scores goals, the way he celebrates those goals, it is all very Sergio Aguero-esque. And here is another heat map for Julian Alvarez for his games that he's played this season. And you can see that he's coming a lot further out to collect the ball than Erling Haaland is. And he's doing a lot more work outside of the box than Erling Haaland does. So this guy is obviously here to play that Aguero role, but we've also got then somebody up front like in the box to get the ball to as well. Whereas previously Aguero was, although he was an out-and-out striker, he fit into that system where he would come short, collect the ball, and then feed it out to the wings, get into the box, and then score the goals. Now we've kind of got Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne there, with Foden, Alvarez, and Mahrez when he plays, collecting the ball and just getting it straight into the box to Haaland. Here's a heat map for Sergio Aguero, and although you'll notice that Alvarez is nowhere near as red because he hasn't played as many games, that's over a full season for Kun Aguero, that you can see where his hotspots were, right? Around that midfield area, well, in between the defence and the midfield area, you can see that. And you can see the similarities there with Julian Alvarez. I'll put them both up and above and below each other so you can see them. The similarities are starting to form there between the two of them. And I'm very confident that Julian Alvarez will be a player that slots into this team that will make us say, even now, especially further down the line, that not that it doesn't matter, but we don't miss those goals that came from the likes of Raheem Sterling, that came from the likes of Gabby Jesus, because he's going to slot in there and he's going to get those goals, and Haaland obviously is going to get those goals and make up for those missing from Sterling and missing from Gabby Jesus, who's doing wonderful at Arsenal, by the way. I'm really happy to see that he's doing really good at Arsenal. Sterling scored another goal. I did catch the highlights of the Chelsea game, and it did look like a typical Raheem Sterling performance where he's sort of getting his goal, but after 3 or 4 chances where he's dribbled into the defender's feet or where he's fluffed a couple first. Now we've got these clinical finishers that are just, we're not going to miss those goals, is what I mean. And sticking on Alvarez, but also going into sort of a wider look at things, is Julian Alvarez now part of our best front three? Has he sort of nudged Mahrez out of the best 11 starting lineup on that right-hand side? Again, like I said last game, I really like Riyad Mahrez. He's been a really good player for the club, and he's still a really good player for the club. But is Alvarez out there a better option for us than Riyad Mahrez is at the minute? Just because of the defensive work rate that Julian Alvarez is putting into the team as well. I'm tempted to say yes at the minute, although that doesn't mean I don't want to see Mahrez play at all. Of course I do. Mahrez has still got so much to offer this team, but what we'd have now is 3 22-year-old players in our front line, with Foden, with Haaland, with Alvarez, 2 of them being Man City fans, by the way, which is mental to think. But 3 of those guys, 22 years old, could be the literal future for the next 5 or 6 years for Manchester City's front line. You know, Mahrez isn't getting any younger. And then you've got people like Cole Palmer coming in as well, who can slot into that front line quite seamlessly. A lot of our players seem to just slot into that front line quite seamlessly. So are they our best front 3? Let me know down in the comments if you think they are. I tend to think yes. But if you think something differently, like I say, let me know. What do you think? This team, though, is just getting started. And I'm wondering now, how far can we go? Not just this year, but in the next 5 or 6 years. How far can we go in terms of winning the Premier League, winning the FA Cup, winning the Carabao Cup, up the Carabao, and of course, the Champions League, that one that's been slipping through our fingers over the last couple of seasons. We've been this close. Is Haaland, is Alvarez that missing piece to the puzzle that will push us over the line? If not this year, I certainly think so in the next 5 years, definitely. But how many trophies can we win in the next 5 years? How many records can we break in the next 5 years? I think we're in for, I was going to say, a very good period in the club's history, but we've been in that for the last decade or so, haven't we? I think Pep will stick around. I think he'll sign a new contract. Whether or not we win the Champions League, I think he will sign that new contract. He always says, as long as the club are happy with him, he's happy at the club. And I don't see any reason why the club wouldn't be happy with him. We've got players signing now for longer term deals because I think they know that Pep's going to be sticking around as well. So I really, really do believe that this club is just getting started. And finally, just before I go, I want to touch on a brand new signing. Akanji, we bought him in. Manuel Akanji, we bought in from Borussia Dortmund, which was a bit of a strange one, because I mentioned in the last video that Chiki and Ferran Soriano said that business was done for the season and we wouldn't be seeing any more incomings or outgoings. Well, Bernardo has come out and made a statement that he's staying this season, so there's no deadline day move to Barcelona for him. But we did see the arrival today of Manuel Akanji, just been announced by the club. He was a defender coming in from Borussia Dortmund. He was very, very highly rated as a youngster. And I think Dortmund's defence is just a bit of a mess in general. They brought back Mats Hummels. Christian Sula came in, which is a very good signing for Dortmund. So we've took a chance on him, who's in his last year of his contract at Dortmund. I think we've seen it as an opportunity to get a relatively cheap option at centre-back, especially with the troubles that we're having. But what that does also say to me is that Laporte's injury might be a little bit worse than what we believed it to be. I believe he's meant to be out until this month, but I think we might not see him until around November. I say December, but that's World Cup time. So if it is going to be one of those things, and if he does go off to the World Cup with Spain as well, it's going to be a long time since we see Laporte in a blue shirt. Ake as well has, since he joined City, had a few injury problems here and there. We know that the other guys, John Stones and Ruben Diaz, can now and then have a few issues with injuries as well. So I think bringing in someone who is essentially fighting for that 4th and 5th spot in defence is a really, really good move for us. And I hope he does really well. Brand new number 25, taking the number off Fernandinho. Let's see what he can do. I'm hoping that when he is called upon, and I'm sure, you know, we've had a good look at him, when he is called upon, that he can perform at those standards. I did see somewhere that he has got a mistake in him here and there, but, you know, who at City hasn't there now and then. But I think he's going to be a really good player. I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. And yeah, hopefully we can see him play. But on to Villa at the weekend. Hopefully another strong performance. Hopefully another victory. Hopefully another Haaland hat-trick. Let's just keep this going. Let's keep this momentum going. Let's keep moving forward. All we can do is beat what's in front of us. We've got the Champions League coming up soon as well, which will really test the guys when we start playing regularly 2 times in a week. I'm just really looking forward to the rest of the season now. So yeah, like I said before, let me know in the comments if you think that our best front three, or who our best front three is at the minute. If you've liked the video, drop a like for me. It'll do me a big favor in pushing this video out to other people. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, subscribe to the channel for some more videos down the line. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.